There is an emotion that researchers are now calling one of the most neurologically destructive forces the human brain can be exposed to over a lifetime. It is not depression. It is not anxiety. It is shame. Not the momentary flush of embarrassment that passes within minutes. The deep, chronic, bone-level belief that something about you, not something you did, but something you fundamentally are, is defective. And for millions of adults over 60, that belief has been quietly running in the background for decades, reshaping the brain in ways that science is only now beginning to fully measure and understand. Shame is distinct from guilt in one critical way. Guilt says, I did something bad. Shame says, I am something bad. That distinction, small as it sounds, produces profoundly different neurological responses. Guilt activates the motivation to repair. Shame activates the motivation to hide. And hiding, the chronic self-concealment that shame demands, is, biologically speaking, one of the most exhausting and quietly damaging states the nervous system can sustain over time. Dr. June Price Tangney at George Mason University has spent over 30 years studying the physiological consequences of shame-proneness. Her research consistently shows that individuals who carry chronic shame have significantly elevated baseline cortisol, reduced immune function, and measurably higher rates of cardiovascular disease. The body, held in a constant posture of self-defense, pays an enormous and ongoing biological cost. But the neurological damage goes deeper still. Chronic shame directly affects the prefrontal cortex, the region responsible for self-regulation, executive function, and the ability to connect meaningfully with others. Brain imaging research published in Social Cognitive and Affective Neuroscience demonstrated that chronic self-criticism and shame activate the same threat processing circuits as external danger. The brain cannot distinguish between being attacked from outside and attacking itself from within. Both trigger the same cascade of stress hormones, the same inflammatory response, and the same gradual deterioration of the neural architecture that keeps thinking clear and emotions regulated. For older adults specifically, the accumulation is compounded by decades of cultural conditioning. An entire generation was raised on messages that framed emotional vulnerability as weakness, that equated self-worth with productivity, and that offered no language for processing the internal sense of inadequacy that chronic stress, loss, and the passage of time inevitably produce. The shame was never named. It was never examined. It simply continued doing its quiet work inside a body that had no idea it was carrying something so costly. What neuroscience now offers is a genuine path forward. Research led by Dr. Kristin Neff at the University of Texas demonstrated that self-compassion, the deliberate practice of meeting yourself with the same warmth and kindness you would offer someone you love, produces measurable reductions in cortisol, increases in heart rate variability, and structural changes in the prefrontal cortex visible on brain imaging scans. Not over years, over weeks of consistent, intentional practice. If this video resonated with you, take a second and hit that like button. It helps more people find this content when they need it most. Subscribe so you never miss a new video, because every week we bring you research-backed insights to help you feel more like yourself again. And if you know someone who might need to hear this, a friend, a parent, a sibling, share it with them. Sometimes the most caring thing we can do is pass along the right words at the right moment. I'll see you in the next one.